Somebody got the hiccups?
She's got the giggles.
Okay. Are you guys all set?
Yeah.
So can you see yourself in this camera and you see yourself in this camera?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to squeeze in here for a second. Hey, it's James. This morning's with James. I was talking about special guests, and I'm way over here on the side. I'm going to step off the screen. We have this wonderful and amazing family we've been talking all week.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Do you want me to come over here? I'll come over here. There. We have this wonderful and amazing family, and let's see, all those people with cystic fibrosis, please put a hand up. And so, Isabella, how old are you? 5. Excellent, excellent. And who is next to you? Who's this lovely lady whose lap you're sitting on?
Mom.
Mom. Does she have a name?
Yeah, Nicky.
Nicky. I should stop calling her Nicole then, right?
Yeah.
I should call her Nicky.
Yeah.
Now, we've got Nicky, and then who's next in the cap?
Micmac, Auntie.
Micmac and Auntie. What's Auntie's name?
Just Auntie.
Just Auntie? Auntie Mandy?
Yeah, Auntie Mandy and Auntie.
Auntie Mandy and Auntie. So you're 5 years old. Okay, so as I stand behind the scenes here, we have a full kind of slate of people sitting. So I'm going to stand and do the questions off the side. Now, we've been talking about CF all week long. Talking about do you know what the 65 Roses movie is?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Do you know, you haven't seen? Okay, so we're doing a screening of it tomorrow.
Yeah.
After 3 o'clock at the Movie Mill, and it's absolutely free to attend. So we're hoping that we'll have a full house of all kinds of people who are interested in cystic fibrosis and supporting this journey to raise awareness and to actually raise money for cystic fibrosis research. And you know why that's really important?
Why?
Because over the last 50 years, do you realize you're 5 years old? Do you realize that if somebody had cystic fibrosis 50 years ago, 5 years old would only be as old as they would get? But do you realize now that people live well into their 50s because of all the research that's being done with cystic fibrosis? Did you know that?
Yes.
Did you know that? Yeah, I bet you knew that because your mom told you. Yeah. So, anyway, for those people joining in right now, and can you guys see, are we live here? The little live icon's up.
Yep.
And we're live right here over on the side too. And I see,
there.
and you can see yourself there, and you can see yourself over on the screen. Perfect.
Right there.
Yeah. Anyway, for those of you that don't know, James Costelli here in the background. We are going live this morning to talk about Isabella and what life is like for Isabella. Now, Isabella has a number of supporters because I would imagine anyone that's got young people dealing with CF, it can be a little bit on the challenging side. Nicky, can you kind of walk me through what a normal day is? And feel free to speak up.
Honestly, it comes and goes with the day. We normally wake up. She gets up and she has a stomach med. We then continue to do Pulmicort and Subutamol, which is a nebulizer, and
Yeah.
it's like a mask that is put into her face, over her face, so she can breathe in.
Yeah.
After that, it's normally 20 minutes of physio, which is 6 different sides where you do chest percussions and you...
That's the
Yeah, yeah.
tapping.
And, please don't touch that.
It's okay.
And then after that, we try and eat something. She gets ready for school. She goes to school for a few hours. She comes home, eats dinner. And then we start her nighttime routine, which is normally a bath.
Yeah.
And then again, we need to do 20 minutes of physio and her breathing treatments.
Yeah.
And my meds.
And then your meds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even my sheen.
When she eats, she needs enzymes, which are a little, they're a little capsule.
Yeah.
And what it does is it helps with the breakdown of the food because her body doesn't break it down. So it's kind of like a guessing game. We need different stuff With like a cheese string, she gets 2 enzymes. With a glass of milk, she gets probably 1. Juice, any kind of fruit, she doesn't get any. Anything like that.
Yeah.
She's
So, you know, I mean, we've been as a member of the Lethbridge Kinsmen, of course, we've been working very closely with CF and organ transplants for well over 50 years. When I think of CF, I think of the lung condition, but it's much more than that, right?
Oh yes, it's way more. It's she fails to thrive, so we have a hard time with keeping up her weight. She's in a low percentile.
Yeah. And she's 5.
Yes, and she's 104 centimeters, which is really good. But her weight is I don't know, about 30 pounds, which is I think
Wow.
14
Yeah.
kilograms.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
comes and goes. She's been hospitalized quite a bit. We've had a few bouts where she's had to be hospitalized for long periods of time.
Yeah.
She fought Pseudomonas a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, which was close to 2.5 weeks stay. And I have to stay with her when she's in the hospital because there isn't enough people that know about cystic fibrosis.
So even at the hospital, so my understanding of the stats is cystic fibrosis, 1 in 25 people is a carrier. So obviously you're a carrier.
Yes, me and Isabella's biological dad,
Yeah.
both carriers, which gave her a 50% chance of having it. And I had no idea. It was something as simple as me and her biological dad both having the gene, and it was what I thought was a normal pregnancy, and she had spots in 5 of the markers.
Yeah.
I think it's 5 out of 7 of them. So I ended up doing all of the stuff that needed to be done, and in the end, we had to do gene tests, and I had to do the amnio, and at about 26 weeks pregnant, I found out that my daughter was going to have cystic fibrosis.
Tough. It's very...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's I have some pretty amazing support though.
Yeah.
I have a lot of close friends that really help with hospital stays when they're around.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
It's tough. You have to have a job to live.
Yeah.
And yet you have this beautiful, beautiful young woman here who, requires so much stuff. And that's where I guess people like Mandy come in. So Mandy's sort of your number one cheerleader, your support, right?
Yeah.
So how important is Mandy in this whole thing? And I mean, obviously she's auntie and stuff like that, but...
Honestly, Mandy did everything with me. All the ultrasounds, everything. She was even there when Isabella was born. So she's been there pretty much, since day one, but she's been there. So, and we do our best to do what needs to be done to give Isabella the support that needs. And if I can't do it, then Mandy helps me.
Okay, so really important to have that support.
Yes.
And I think with things like this, when you mentioned that the hospital doesn't, obviously that's their area of expertise, but they don't have enough people that they can dedicate the resources to or that have that specialized knowledge.
Honestly, her pediatrician is amazing. She's a lifesaver. We go and see her a lot every few weeks, just in case something comes up. We do travel to Calgary very often.
Yeah.
And most of the time it is Calgary trips that we end up doing, which is hard on all of us because there's 5 kids and us to help take care of them. And we do what needs to be done to the pack of...
Well, you know what? I appreciate you guys all coming down here. Now, there's Micmac sitting in the middle, looking, styling this morning. Micmac, can you sit up a little bit taller? Can you show us your... I wear purple for Bella. Nice, nice. Micmac, what's your role in this? What do you do?
I try
You speak up a little bit louder for me.
I try to support at my school.
Okay, and you're at Wilson,
Yeah.
right? If we can mention that. What do you do to support Bella?
I like try to tell everybody like what it's like and how it impacted my life
Yeah.
when she first had it.
Yeah, and so this is now. I'm sorry, Micmac. I don't know the relationship between the two of you. Are you brother, cousin, friend, family?
Really, really close friends.
Really, really.
She's my foster sister.
Okay, okay. It's great to have that connection, though, right?
Yeah, it really is.
In an ideal world, what do you want to see from events like our 65 Roses CF awareness event and from our Cystic Fibrosis walk to make CF history? What is really the...
Honestly, it could happen to anybody. Like anybody. There people that don't know that their genes are the way they are. It really could. I was a carrier, and her bio dad was a carrier, so the fact.
But you didn't know that going into it, did you?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
We had no idea, so it was scary. And when I had the appointments, the clinic told me not to Google it or like look into it, anything. So honestly, I went into it blind, pretty much. I had this baby. They actually sent her home, 24 hours after we had her.
Yeah.
We stayed up there 3 weeks, and then in the Ronald McDonald House. And the day after I had her, we come home, and it was rough.
She was
a
I think it was
regular.
40 hours because we spent one night in the Ronald McDonald House with her.
They
So,
didn't
yeah.
send me home with any info. They really didn't send me home with anything. We knew she was gonna have cystic fibrosis, but they didn't prepare me at all.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea that at 6 weeks old she was gonna have to go up to Calgary, and we were gonna have to go, and she didn't get any of the nutrients from me, so she was pretty much starving because they didn't send me home with the proper information
Yeah.
when she was younger, right? So it really just affected her because we had to build her immunity. So it was rough, right?
It's pretty scary when you think about it. There's so much behind the scenes that most people, like even myself, you don't realize. I was talking to my mom yesterday, who's in Ontario, about this whole situation and about the interview and what we were doing, and she said, your sister had a really good friend when she was in high school, and that really good friend ended up passing from complications due to CF when she was only 20. And so, we're going back, 15 years. And the amount, because of the research, the amount of change that's taken place from even 15 years ago it's transforming lives.
Yeah, it really is. At her birth, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how bad it was going to be. We didn't know anything. All they knew was that she was going to have cystic fibrosis. They didn't know what gene mutation. They didn't know any of it. She actually has double delta 508, which means we both had the delta 508 gene.
Do you want to get her to stand up on the chair for a sec?
Yeah, for sure.
So this is, can we get her all in camera? Yeah, there we go. This is, so she's actually, even standing on that chair, she's not much taller. And I know the green screen kind of blocks out, but she's a little cutie for sure. But she's a tiny little wonder for sure.
No.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No. Look.
And a very active one too, so that's really good. So she's quite active right now.
No, you're
Oh,
good.
you have to
Can't see you.
hop over there, honey.
Come.
Live TV, it's great. So now she's really active right now. Are there? I would imagine there are good days and there are bad days.
Yeah, for the most part, what happens is, this is her on good days, when she brews infections longer than any of us. So normally this one gets sick, and he'll be sick, and Bella will be sick
Okay.
about 5 days later. And then
Oh, okay.
she brews it longer. And normally when we go to clinic, this one comes and he gets sick as well. So we just see the difference, you know,
Yeah.
of him compared to her, and it takes longer. You know, we do our best to make it so that it doesn't hit her lungs.
Yeah.
We do the best that needs to be done in regards to all of that stuff, you know, and
Yeah.
it is actually more of a thing in regards to us, you know, as caregivers and
Yeah.
stuff. It actually gives them more quality of life, right? Because if we didn't do the physio and all that, then it wouldn't clear her secretions.
So the physio helps keep her lungs clear.
Yes.
And is there a gut massage you do as well to help move things along, or is that?
No, we lay her on her side and we do her side, and then we do her back, and then we flop her over on the other side, and it ends up clearing them just the way.
Yeah.
Just the way we do it, because they've taught us, and that's what clinic does, right? They
Yeah.
teach you as it goes, but it's rough. It's really hard to understand any of it, and there's times when we all feel helpless.
Yeah.
So it's really an illness that it's not, it's an invincible illness, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm so glad that you guys were able to take time to come down here and to share with us, because, you know, we talk about CF. There are so many different things we need to be concerned about these days. We talk about it, but we never get a chance to kind of see firsthand. Yes, young lady.
Is that for that?
Yeah, that's actually microphone for the radio. So for Jess FM, the radio part, the camera itself has its own microphone. See how that line goes up and down?
Yeah.
Can't really see you
So that line is the mic picking up my voice, and when you talk nice and loud, so go say hi.
Hi.
See? And everybody heard you. So this is, it's really incredible that you guys were able to come in, and I know that as we move forward with this and as we continue our journey with the Kinsmen Kinettes, just to create more awareness, create more community connection, my hope is that there will be greater strides in the area of healing for cystic fibrosis. I thank you guys for coming in this morning. I know, Isabella, you got to get to school and stuff today, don't you?
No, she doesn't have school today.
Oh, you don't have school today? Oh, wow. Fantastic. So, do you guys have anything else to say? Micmac,
Can I rap?
can you rap?
He wrote just a lyric about cystic fibrosis.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Isabella, and he'd like to share it with you.
Absolutely. Take it away.
Okay, you gotta talk loud though, okay?
Year after year, I hope for a cure for cystic fibrosis. Feel like 100 years, and my little sister, she's 4 years old, and I'm singing this song, trying to get money for this cure. I need donations for this cure, so blow your help. I need some help. Hope for a cure. Hope for a cure. Hope.
Awesome. Well done. Well done. Well, you know what? We'll have to take some time and actually record that separately and really amp that up. That's fantastic. Anyway, you guys, thank you for coming on the program. Thank you for being part of Mornings with James. I know it's a hard thing to talk about, Nikki, and I appreciate you guys so much. Anyone with any questions about cystic fibrosis or about what we've got going on, I will be sharing that, and just pop in here for a sec. We'll be sharing this and sharing it forward and making some incredible things happen. So anyway, for everyone joining in, thank you very much for you guys taking time out of your day to share. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you, of course, possibly tomorrow and possibly on the 27th.
We'll be there.
The 27th.
You'll be there at the 27th? Okay, 27th is a walk to make CF history. It's happening at Henderson Lake. More information on that coming up, and we'll be spreading the word. I know you guys will be spreading the word. This is incredible. Thank you guys very much for coming in this morning. And for everyone else, stay inspired. We'll chat soon. Bye for now. Everyone say bye.